to this Study New South Wales and SEEK event. This is for the New South Wales Jobs Connect for International Students Employers webinar, so hopefully you're at the right place. If we can go to the next slide. Just going to start with a welcome to country. So Study New South Wales acknowledges the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples are the first people and traditional custodians of Australia and recognise their continued custodianship of country, and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, and note that we are speaking today from the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and pay respects to the places where you're zooming in from. So my name is Nate Henderson. I am the Associate Director, Student Programs and Policy here at Study New South Wales, and it's my great pleasure to oversee this great program, New South Wales Job Connect for International Students. And today we're so pleased to be able to welcome employers who are both signed up and are looking to sign up to this program. Today we're looking to take you through a bit more information about what New South Wales Job Connect is. We also want to assist you if you haven't signed up to understanding how do you sign up, how does it work, what is it all about. And I'm joined today by my colleague Scott from SEEK, who will talk also a bit later and give you some more details about how you practically do that in their system. So we're hoping today is going to be a really practical session for you to either understand how you can start advertising or how you can sign up and then start advertising. The session is being recorded, as you will have noted when you entered, but please feel free to send your questions via the chat function. There is going to be a Q&A, so we're probably going to have around 15 minutes, 20 minutes of information. We want to spend a lot of this time answering your questions, and we've also got some FAQ that we can share with you to answer some of those questions that we know all employers are asking about this. So to jump straight into this, we'll go to the next slide. So just to give you some context, so New South Wales is leading what we call the onshore recovery. So international students during COVID-19, a lot of them left, and they're just returning. As you can see from this slide, New South Wales has the vast majority of international students in Australia, and as of very recently, 55,000 of them are still studying offshore, but we're expecting a majority of them to come back in the next couple of months. So, we will have sizable amount of students here in New South Wales, and that doesn't include the ones who are graduating and can be employed post-graduation, which we'll talk about a little bit later. I'm just going to the next slide. To provide some sort of further context, New South Wales is made up of a range of, all students come to New South Wales, but we have a huge amount of, these are our top destinations. So China, Nepal, India and Thailand are our top 5 destinations. And I should say in this slide, the 17,000 Chinese students who are offshore, for those of you who may have seen the media, China is currently requesting them to come back to Australia. And so we expect most of those 17,000 to come back. What this data is telling you is that there are a lot of students out there from a range of nationalities who are interested in employment opportunities, both during the start of their term and while they're studying, but also post-study for whatever they may be doing. And remember, international students are university students, but they're also at TAFE New South Wales or at private institutions. They're studying English. It's a real range of opportunities. Next slide, please. And just to give you a sense that we're returning to pre-COVID numbers. So these data is really in short, just to give you some sense of the numbers in New South Wales. We're in this every day. You're probably not. These slides will be made available to you afterwards. So if we've gone too fast through and you wanted to deep dive into these numbers, we can certainly you can have a look at them when we circulate the slides. But we might jump straight into what is New South Wales Jobs Connect. So this program is about connecting international students with employers. One of the things that Study New South Wales here is, in Study New South Wales, our remit and our mandate here in the New South Wales government is to is to help the international student experience and help grow the pipeline of international students to New South Wales and make sure we're a premier destination for international students. And international students are always looking for jobs. We also know that there's a skill shortage here in New South Wales, and employers are reaching out for skills. And so this is our way of trying to make that connection by partnering with Seek and in adding hashtag New South Wales Job Connect to advertisements. We're hoping to be able to provide a platform for you to be able to engage with that skill cohort, and for that cohort to be able to engage with you. Next slide, please. So I think this is really where we want to talk a bit more for, like, why should you get involved? And I've mentioned the skill shortage, but I think sometimes we want to appreciate that international students come with a robust and sustainable amount of talent. So they come with all different skills, they're at all different levels, and they're looking for all different types of opportunities. They often bring innovation and diversity to workplaces, maybe bringing some new ideas from their own country, or just adding into the diversity of thinking in your own area of working. It's providing opportunities for international students to feel connected to Australia. And we know from evidence that international students who feel more connected, they stay and they become part of our community and part of the fabric of New South Wales. So as of January, as of today, 134 New South Wales employers have expressed interest. We are looking for a lot more than that. We'd like as many employers to sign up to this program, as we can. I think we're seeing this as an opportunity for New South Wales employers to really gain access to skills and understand why and how they can engage with international students. I'm sure there's lots of questions, so I'm hoping that you're filling them out as we go, but if not, we'll obviously have them at the end. We have a Zoom poll, is that right? Yeah, we're going to do a Zoom poll now. So can you please, yep, so can you please enter your names as well so we can track your poll responses? So you should be able to see the poll up there now on your screen. So how did you hear about New South Wales Job Connect for international students? How did you hear about the program? Are you registered? And have you had any experience in hiring international students in the past? And as I said, if you can just add make sure your name is on your Zoom profile. It just is going to allow us to understand who we've got on the screen with us today. My IT people are telling me we're just going to hang on another minute. There's a few of you I think still going through. That's all fine. All right, we'll give another 30 seconds or so just for those just to finish off their questions. Appreciate you adding this in. So look, just to reiterate on that, this is a program really about connecting international students and yourselves. It's about skills, it's about opportunities. And so we're really hoping that you see value from this. This is really meant to be a valuable opportunity for you to access some of these skills. And we know from hearing from different employers that it's hard sometimes. How do we register? We're going to get into that right now. I think it's time we'll move on to the next slide. That's a thank you for that question, and that's a perfect segue to. Yeah, can we go to the next slide? All right, so if you've got your phones handy, you can already scan this QR code. I should say this, we'll also have this QR code brought up at the end. So if you're unsure yet whether you want to sign up, there will be another opportunity to do so. But effectively, you submit an expression of interest. And the reason we do this is because we want to make sure as an employer, you're going to sign up to what we call the New South Wales International Business Charter. The Business Charter outlines that effectively you understand that hiring international students need to be hired. They need to be hired on the same employment conditions as any other employer in Australia. And I think most businesses are ethical and understand that, but there are some who don't. So we just want to make sure you're signing up to that. And then effectively you send us your company logo so that we can add you and highlight what you're doing. And then you start advertising on New South Wales using hashtag New South Wales Job Connect via Seek. Scott, in a moment from Seek, will talk about how you actually do that, what that practically looks like. But the first step for you is to go to this website and submit your expression of interest. We will clear them really quickly. We're going to reach out to you to just validate, make sure that you are, from the company that you say you are, and we're going to ask you to sign up with this business charter. It's a very simple process. It costs you no money. We will never ask for money from this program. It isn't. That's not the purpose of it. And so it's a very simple process. And as Scott will take you through in a moment, how you actually do the advertising. The signing up is through this expression of interest process. We'll come back to this QR code at the end. So if you've missed it, or you can go to study.nsw.gov.au/Jobs Connect, or go to that website and you can see the drop down under industry there, and there's a website with that information. We'll just go to the next slide, because I think what's really important here is we also want to make you understand that international students want to work with you. The reason you may not have seen many international students, you might be employing them, but for those who haven't seen international students come to you, it's often because they don't think they can. There's often a perception that jobs are for Australians. There's often, they perceive that if they apply, an employer is not going to understand that they can apply, that they're going to be accepted, so they don't bother doing an application. This program is meant to overcome that by telling international students that these employers, they've signed the charter, they understand your value. And for international students, they want to work with you. They want to gain skills. They want to kickstart their careers. They want to, enrich their experience. They want to meet Australians. And for us, it's reinforcing New South Wales as a positive destination. They're telling their family and friends, come to Australia. There's great opportunities. And that's meeting your skills gap. It's meeting their job opportunities. And this is both during their studies, but it's also post-studies. Many degrees, a lot of people don't realise this, many degrees have up to 6 years post-work rights. So you can employ a student, and then when they graduate, you can keep them on and it costs you nothing. You don't have to do anything for many degrees. And the Department of Home Affairs has a whole list of those qualifications, and there's a whole process that we can help you identify. We've got some FAQs on how you verify an international student, how you ensure what their work rights are, so that you can, when we're trying to make it easy so you have confidence in hiring an international student. I think that is probably enough for me for the moment. I'm going to hand over to Scott Brown, who's the Senior Account Manager for New South Wales Government Education at Seek. He's been our absolute partner on this. And Seek has been amazing to help us really reach all you and to connect with international students. And he'll take you through how you practically use the Seek platform. And then when I come back, we'll have a bit of a closing around opportunities for employers who have signed up, and then we'll move into the Q&A. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Scott.
Thanks, Nate, and good afternoon to everyone on the call. Big thank you to all those companies that have signed up today. And for anyone watching today, we really hope that this session is useful and you do sign up post-session. So I just want to acknowledge before I go into how it all works that this is a Seek first. We've never done this before with any government agency around the country, and we're really proud to be part of the initiative. By connecting international students to Seek customers around the state, not only are we helping people gain employment, we're helping our customers, some of which have been in a huge war on talent, some are still fighting the war on talent, and hopefully we can just provide a little bit of relief there. And it really helps Seek to deliver our purpose, which is to help people live more fulfilling and productive working lives and to help organizations succeed. I did see a question actually, just while Nate was talking, and I will just cover the question for Seek. So Adam, just to reply to you, this is live in New South Wales at the moment. In WA, we will be live in a couple of weeks, and we are in talks with other government agencies around the country, but eventually we'll be live nationally. So as it stands, you can use the hashtag for New South Wales. WA in a few weeks' time, I can get you connected to some colleagues there. But eventually the plan is to get this set up for the whole country. The hashtags might differ from state to state, but that's a bit of a work in progress. So if I could just move to the next slide, please. It's really easy in terms of how the hashtag actually works. And I've just pulled a few live adverts from our platform in terms of how others are using the hashtag. So essentially what happens is, as an employer, you write hashtag New South Wales Jobs Connect anywhere in the body of your advert. It doesn't need to be in the job title. For example, this one here from the Hyatt Regency, they've got a job title, front office team leader. They use standout adverts, and within their adverts, I think they've put the hashtag just down the bottom there on the right hand side. So they've got that as soon as a candidate basically views their advert. The other three here have just put the hashtag at the bottom of their advert. It doesn't matter if it's top or bottom. We basically need to have that hashtag within the advert though, to make sure that the international students get to see the advert. Because how it works on the other side of the fence is the students will use the same hashtag in their search field, which I'll show you in a moment. And then they'll be presented with a list of adverts that essentially they're eligible for or applicable to, which gives them a bit more confidence when they go to actually apply. If I could just move to the next slide. So just to go back to what I was saying there, this is what a student would do, an international student, sorry. When they go on site, they'll just put the hashtag in. It doesn't matter if it's capitals or lowercase. They can choose an industry or classification. Obviously, it has to be in New South Wales, but then they click the Seek button and they'll be presented with a list of applicable adverts. So basically, all the employers that are part of the initiative using the hashtag can get their adverts front and center in front of all these international students. So they can filter it down to whatever industry or classification they're interested in. They will have to keep it in the same state, but it doesn't matter where they are, Sydney, Newcastle, Wollongong, in the regions. It isn't exclusive in terms of other candidates will still be able to see your adverts. So essentially you're maximizing the audience. It's not just international students that will get to see it. So for those adverts that we looked at on the previous slide, it'll be a combination of international students and just regular candidates that can see the adverts and therefore apply. For those customers that use the ad usage report, you'll be able to track performance or any increased performance from this initiative. So views, clicks, applications, and that kind of thing. And we're also doing a lot of work with the international students too. So it isn't just a case of us saying, here's a hashtag, go and find a job. We've got quite a few webinars planned for this year. We already had one last year, whereby we're showing them, first of all, how to create a Seek profile. We're going to give them tips from our career advice topics or links on site, such as resume writing, interview prep, all that kind of thing that they need to know. And we've also encouraged them with their profile that a lot of Seek customers proactively source as well. So for any customer that uses Premium Talent Search, for example, the hope of this initiative is to actually have more profiles within our database that you can actually speak to for any open jobs. So it's not just a case of you'll get more applicants coming through your adverts, you'll also be able to go out there and actually speak to a few more profiles within your proactive sourcing as well. Further through this year, we will be sending some surveys out to all those customers that are involved in the initiative. The surveys is pretty much to ensure that we're very close to feedback, but also we're really interested in success stories, given it's the first time we've ever done it. We want to know what we could improve for years to come, but also any successful hires that you've made through the initiative are pretty crucial in terms of making sure that other students or future students coming to the state know that this campaign works and that they may be able to get employment through using the hashtag as well. And also it's a great branding opportunity for your organization too, to say, look, we're doing something a little bit outside the box, we're finding talent in other areas, you know, a bit of good news for you guys as well. If anyone does have any questions or any issues with the hashtag, any technical problems, if you have a Seek account manager, feel free to contact them. Otherwise, my details will be circulated after this. More than happy to help. But Nate, that was pretty much everything I had to talk through around the hashtag. So over to you.
Thank you so much, Scott. And thanks also for answering some of those really important questions there about how we reach students. If I could just add to that, Study New South Wales has a huge network of access to students, and we run a range of programs outside of employability. We also have other government departments who are promoting this campaign where they work with international students. So we're actually reaching this quite far and wide, including to our offshore network as well before students even arrive, so that they know there's jobs here through our alumni networks. So we're really promoting this to international students. They know to use this because we know this program only has value to you if international students are also using it. I should say international students are from a range of industries and qualifications and areas. The data shows us that they're studying everything here in New South Wales. And so I kind of guarantee you that if you've got a skill shortage, there is an international student studying that. Now, of course, there are areas of higher degrees, engineering, accounting, IT, particularly have a lot of students, hospitality, other areas. But, we've got, you've got childcare and education, you've got health, anything in healthcare, auto mechanics, you name it. There's an international student in New South Wales doing it who could apply and fill a skill shortage or a job you may have. I might just move on to the next slide, which is really my final slide before we move to answers. And I think this kind of will also help in terms of that promotion piece and what we're doing. So we're looking to run an employability showcase on the 24th of May. For those employers who are signed up to the program, you will be invited to have a stall there at the showcase to be able to connect directly with international students. And to get international students there, we're running some programs, some leadership and community programs which they'll be pitching ideas, community and business will be pitching ideas to the students. And so the students will be answering those ideas and bringing new ideas back to the challenges you might be presenting. The business program will only be open to employers who have signed up to the Jobs Connect program. So that's a little bit of an incentive to sign up if you want to have a student potentially tackle a challenge for you. That's the way of doing it. There'll be more information. I know there's probably lots of questions on that. There'll be much more information coming out about this in the next couple of weeks. But we wanted to highlight this isn't just a standalone program, it's part of a broader suite of events that we're doing. With that said, I think I can already see some questions coming in. I'm going to hand over to my colleague Esmond, who is also at Study New South Wales with me, and he's going to lead us in the question and answer. Esmond is really running this program, is really aware of all the things going on. So Esmond, I'll hand over to you to answer some of the questions that are coming in, and please keep your questions coming.
Thank you very much, Nate, and thanks, Scott, for answering the initial questions that came through. I'll just go to the next question. This is a pilot program. I think this has already been addressed by Scott. This is a pilot program for both SEEK and the New South Wales government. To address which industries do you cover, we are practically aligning with the categorization of industries that SEEK has in their platform. That's from accounting, finance, insurance, administration, office support, community services and development, construction, education and training, engineering, hospitality and tourism, information and communication technology, government and defense, healthcare, retail, science and technology, manufacturing, transport, and logistics. And all those categories are available in our website at study.nsw.gov.au/work/New South Wales Jobs Connect. The next question we have is, which industries do you cover with existing employers? Well, that would have answered that question already. Would you recommend large corporate to get involved in this program? Definitely. We are encouraging all New South Wales employers, be it small or medium enterprises, as well as large corporates. if you would see the list of the New South Wales employers who have already signed up, we have a range of small and medium enterprises as well as large corporates already part of this initiative. I'll just jump into the chat because I believe there are a couple of questions there. How does an overseas student know how to use hashtag New South Wales Jobs Connect filter? We are communicating this to education providers, so that will be filtered through to international students who are registered with education providers across New South Wales. And we are also encouraging international students in New South Wales to sign up to our newsletters to receive the most up-to-date information about programs delivered to international students across the state. This next question might be very specific. I entered the right ABN. I checked that specific question and that specific institution, and you are actually signed up to the initiative. Thank you. All right, there is another question. Let me just go through the chat. All right. Another question is, hi Scott, do you support employers with HR work, like helping international students to apply for a study visa, tax file numbers, set up, etc.? Scott, can I pass that on to you?
Yeah, can I answer that? As unfortunately, that's not really our area, to be honest. We can help the students in terms of resume writing, how to find an advert on Seek and that kind of thing, but it's not something that Seek really offers in terms of visas, tax file numbers. So unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to help on that one.
Let's see the next question here. Would you suggest still using this on roles that require full-time working rights, as these roles could still be relevant for grad master's visas, but not student visas after the 1st of July this year? And that is correct. We are expecting a change in the working rights of student visa holders after the 30th of June 2023, and that will be we will be guided by the Department of Home Affairs policies once that is finalized. However, as Nate has mentioned earlier, we are addressing not only international students who are currently studying, but also recent graduates who may have unlimited work rights after they completed their studies in New South Wales. So these will be relevant for both international students and recent graduates. And as you would see in the as you would notice when you advertise, you would be able to identify if the role is part-time, full-time, casual, or it depends on how you categorize roles that you make available in your job advertisements. All right, there is another question in the chat. Does it cover aged care and home care? Yes, definitely. We already have a few institutions who have signed up in that job category. There is a question here. How many international students are we expecting to come to New South Wales starting the February term? Nate has mentioned something around our data of international students who are already here. But look, we are always monitoring the number of students who are entering both Australia and New South Wales, and we will only find out. We are happy to share this information with you in our monthly newsletter updates to employers who are signed up to New South Wales Jobs Connect, and we will be able to include data on the number of students in the state by then.
But it might be worth adding is that we've got, I mean, there are over 100,000 students, you know, in New South Wales right now, and it's not just about university. There are also a range of courses, and they're starting throughout the year. So it's not just the February. International students arrive throughout the year. Certainly for the big universities, say at Sydney and UTS, etc. They have two main intakes. But there are international students arriving throughout the whole year, not certainly just in one time of the year. And as there's over, pre-COVID, there was over 200,000 international students here in New South Wales, and we're on track over the next 12 months to sort of be above that number. So there's a lot of students studying a lot of things.
Thanks, Nate. I'll just jump onto the chat. Will this still be available? Sorry. Will this still be available after June 30th when the students' working rights restrictions are coming back? Yes, this will be continuously available, and this will continuously help address the ongoing skills shortage, both in New South Wales and across Australia. And if we want to target a particular group of students, how do we do this? Your advertisement will be categorized when you advertise on Seek. And this will also be categorized when we feature your institution in our website.
As just to add to that, so in terms of targeting groups of students, just to respond to that question. So if you write your Seek advert as normal, nurse as the job title, for example, make sure you have hashtag New South Wales Jobs Connect within the body of the text somewhere. And then if you think about the student nurses, they'll be searching hashtag New South Wales Jobs Connect. And in the classification, they'll be searching for healthcare and medical and nursing. So as long as you've got the classification within healthcare and medical and nursing, and they're searching within the same thing, they're going to get presented with your advert and any other adverts that are applicable to them with that hashtag.
Thanks, Scott. We've got a question around, will jobs posted on New South Wales Jobs be reflected on Seek and vice versa? We'd like to clarify that we are working with Seek and will be using their platform for those jobs that are being advertised on Seek. So if we get your Seek profiles, so when your company logo or company name appears on Study New South Wales website, that will link to your Seek jobs profile. Seek advertiser's profile, and that will also outline the advertisements that you have live during that time. We do not post any jobs from Study New South Wales website. And if you are not an advertiser with Seek, we will be linking your company logo or company name or your institution's name to your own website, if that makes sense. So short answer, no, there will be no jobs advertised in Study New South Wales website. Everything is through Seek's platform. Just curious to understand if this is an ongoing project or will the program be running for a specific time? We do not see an end date for this project just yet. We see this continuing past the changes that will happen after the work rights for student visa holders are changed by the 30th of June this year.
It might be worth adding, Esmond, that really the success of this program is going to determine how long it runs. If it's useful for employers, if you find that it's useful for you and you're getting international students and filling the skills gap, and international students are finding it useful for finding jobs, we'll keep it going. If employers aren't engaging in it and you don't see value in it, the New South Wales government, isn't going to invest in that. So really, we all want to make this a success together. The more employees, the more jobs we have up on the platform, the more successful this will be. We would keep this running for as long as it's useful. I think that's probably the longer way of answering that question, and maybe the encouragement to say, please sign up, put your jobs up there, have international students, interview international students for jobs, because that's how we measure the success. That's how we keep this going, and that's how we make sure that you have access to that quality skills and talent.
The question that came through the chat: how do international students know about this program, and what have Study New South Wales and Seek done to market this program to international students? So, as mentioned earlier, we reach out to education providers across the state. We also have newsletters for international students who are studying with education providers in New South Wales. So they get our messages around the program. This is one of our major programs since last year, and we have been promoting and talking about this in every opportunity that we have, if we can say that. And we are also running a few paid promotions to make sure that this is amplified, that even new students who are starting this term are made aware of the program. There is continuous communication around New South Wales Jobs Connect for international students. There's another question. Will SEEK be providing program facilitators to the students, guiding them which jobs to apply or which organizations to reach out to?
So not directly, in the sense that we're not going to do it on a one-to-one basis, but we are running quite a few sessions to education providers across the state, pretty much around career advice. So we'll be doing it when we're there, to make sure that everyone knows how to use our platform, how to apply to jobs, how to make sure they're going to get success out of it. But we just don't have capacity to do it on a one-on-one basis.
Thanks, Scott. There's another question. Can you remind me, when will hashtag New South Wales Jobs Connect go live on SEEK? This, we launched the program on the last November 2022, and you can start using hashtag New South Wales Jobs Connect as soon as you are confirmed as a part of this initiative.
Just to add, Esmond, there are over, I think, 120 live adverts on the platform at the moment with the hashtag. So hopefully it'd be good to see that number rise, but there's already people out there advertising.
That may have just risen, Scott. I just checked, it's 180 now.
Brilliant.
I'm noticing there's no more questions coming up. So maybe can we put the slide deck back up with that QR code if we can. Please keep your questions coming if you do have questions. We're very happy to answer them. Our job here is to help you make this as smooth a process as possible so that you can use the program. Yes, this recording will be shared with all attendees. If you've signed up through using the Humanitix, we will share this recording. Will be on our website and on YouTube. We'll also share the slides, and we're going to share some FAQ that we've developed, which should hopefully answer some of those questions. Particularly, maybe if you were on and you were wondering, what is this 1st of July change that we're hearing of? We've got some answers for you on that. We've got some answers on how do you find out if a student is able to be, able to work for us. What's their post-work right opportunities? Are they telling me the truth? We've got you links that can easily find you all that information. The short answer here is that we want you to sign up and we want you to tell us how it's going. I think, as Scott said, please give us some feedback. You can do that also through going through our website, or we will also share a contact when we email you after this with information with a person you can reach out to if you've got questions. Or, as Scott said, you can also reach out to your SEEK manager they can walk you through how this is done. How to do on your end. Is there any more questions? We'll take your, thank you. Is it Hendrik? Hendrik, sorry. We will take your question offline. We will definitely get back to you with some answers on what's going on there. I can see some more questions popping up. I'll just happily, if I click on a company logo on the New South Wales Job Connect website, there's a list of jobs. However, I cannot find a hashtag in these jobs. Esmond, I might hand over to you for this answer.
Yeah, we'll check that. Doesn't seem to be. We'll have a check on that, Jason. Thanks for pointing that out.
Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, will there be ACT Jobs Connect? I think, as Scott said, he's currently in conversations. I would say this is a New South Wales government initiative at the moment, and so that's really the conversation from New South Wales to SEEK. But I do know SEEK is having conversations across the state. But of course, I should also say New South Wales Jobs Connect is not just for Sydney or Greater Sydney; it is also for the regions. And so we're in active conversations with people around, Newcastle, Wollongong, Western Sydney, Western New South Wales, around ensuring there's jobs across the state. So it is a New South Wales program. I should say, if you've got any more questions, please keep them coming. We'll happily hang on. For those of you who have got to the end and said, I've got everything I need, thank you. There's no more sort of information coming beyond the questions. Thank you so much for attending the session today. We hope it was useful. We hope you sign up. There will be an email with all this information coming to you. Please reach out to us if you've got questions. Please sign up. Please start using the hashtag on your jobs. As we're, Esmond, Scott, and I are happy to hang around and answer any more questions you've got. But for those of you who want to run to the next meeting, I appreciate your time and thank you for coming this afternoon.